Thank you, Florencia, and happy holidays and soon to be New Year.
Happy holidays.
I wanted to follow up on those questions as well. Does the Secretary General condemn Israel's taking of Dr. Hussam Abu Safia, the Director General, or the Director, I should say, of Kamal Adwan Hospital?
I think we've been very clear in the fact that we condemn any action that targets civilians and civilian infrastructure. And hospitals, we've called repeatedly for them to be respected as this safe space areas where people go to seek medical assistance. And this is the case as well for this.
Does the Secretary General call on Israel to release him immediately?
I mean, what I would say is that, yes, anyone that is innocent, an innocent civilian who is trying to help others should not be detained.
And is there any justification ever for a director of a hospital to be taken by a military during a conflict?
Again, I think when we're talking about people who are seeking to provide assistance and innocent civilians who are seeking to provide medical attention to others, they should not be detained. And especially when we're talking about attacking a place where many civilians were seeking help, and instead this place became an unsafe space. But I think we have been talking about this for a long time. There is no safe space in Gaza, and this is further proof that this is the case.
And last follow-up, if I may, his exact whereabouts are not known according to his family.
Correct.
His family is calling on all international organizations, including the United Nations, to do whatever they can to leverage Israel to reveal where he's at and to release him. Is the UN doing this specifically, or will they do that?
I know that we have been having contacts on the ground to see what the situation is in the hospital and to obviously everyone that needs to be brought to safety and needs assistance, including the director. We will work with whoever needs to be worked with to ensure that that's the case. Deji.
Yes, a couple of questions. Just now, when answering my question, the Israeli ambassador Noon suggested that both Port Hodeida as well as Sana'a International Airport are included in sort of military activity. That's why they bombed both locations, which is contradictory to what Julian last week told us, which is UN missions secured these two facilities as civilian use. Any response from the UN Secretariat to what the Ambassador Noon said?
I mean, I think Julian said it quite clearly, so I won't repeat it, but also even ASG Kerry mentioned it today, this airport is regularly used by our UNHAS colleagues, and it's regularly used to bring in and out humanitarian assistance. So I will leave it at that.
Okay, so my next question, since you just mentioned that China paid the contribution for this year, which means the second biggest contributor as well as the third biggest contributor, Japan, both pay in full, which leaves the first biggest contributor, which is U.S. How much has U.S. paid for this year?
I don't have the exact figure, but I know that they have been making partial payments throughout the year. Obviously, it's not complete
yet. How many does the U.S. owe for the UN's regular budget?
Give you the exact figure.
But it's not as big as 789 million, right? That's basically this year's budget. So according to UN Charter, if the arrear exceeds this number, the voting right will be suspended, right?
I will need to get back to you on the exact figure that they've given.
Oh, but there's a lot, right?
That they've given?
They are owing.
I know
both are in large quantity, I guess.
Yes,
okay.
Up to debate, but yes. I will get back to you on the exact figure as to how much they have, how much they still owe. But thank you to China.
So do you worry that next year when President-elect Trump became the President Trump, would there be even bigger problem with the country, the budget?
I mean, I think we won't speculate for now what will happen with the next administration, but I think, you know, the financial situation of the organization, we've been very transparent about that. The Secretary General has taken several measures to ensure that we have liquidity and that we can keep operating. So we're taking all necessary precautionary measures as we see our balance sheet today.
Good luck and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year, too.
Hi, Florentia. I hope you're doing well. I got a question for you here. Vanessa Fraser, the ambassador from Malta, they're departing the Security Council, and Malta was one of the leading forces among the E10 in developing Security Council resolutions related to the Israel-Hamas conflict. She posted today on X/Twitter in response to information from COGAT regarding the entry of humanitarian aid into Gaza. She posted, quote unquote, "Don't be fooled by these numbers. Prior to the war on Gaza, over 500 aid trucks entered Gaza daily," and she capitalized daily for emphasis. This 500 daily number has been floated by UN officials almost since the beginning of the war, and it apparently seeped its way into the Security Council among a leading figure there. That 500 daily figure has been wrong from the get-go, according to OCHA's own statements. They have on their website that the pre-crisis average per working day was 500 truckloads, but there's only 240 working days at those crossings per OCHA's own information. And per OCHA's own information, only about 73 or so trucks per day pre-crisis, pre-war, actually carried food, and about 80 or so carried medical aid. The rest were construction materials, appliances, animal feed, not really aid per any standard definition of that. So my question is, why has the UN and its officials never corrected this glaring inaccuracy in the information that it's been saying from the beginning of the war? It has skewed so much of the picture of this war. Why has it never issued a correction on this?
I would have to look clearly at, because I have not seen this tweet or this report, and I would have to look clearly at what our colleagues at OCHA said, and I would refer you directly to them. What I will say is that the situation has dramatically changed, and what we know now and what we want to emphasize now is that aid is not getting there, and aid is significantly being impeded, and the number of trucks going there post-conflict is visible to everyone. It's less than what it was before, and the result is that people are dying. So I think this is what we want to focus on. And as for the numbers, I will check with OCHA.
I'll actually send you the link so I can get a direct response from the Secretary General's office. But if you were to find that the number of aid trucks that are carrying food and medical aid are the same, if not more, post October 7th than they were pre-October 7th, don't you think that would change a lot of views?
I don't think that the aid that is getting there now is the aid that needs to get there now. And the needs have dramatically increased since then.
I'll send you those links. We'll talk later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.